Aaqib is connecting to audio.
Yeah, good evening.
It's the evening, yes. Welcome to Horrid and Friends, the podcast for innocent dukes who just decide to pay millions of pounds to women they've never met.
fancy a custard cream, Bob? Or fancy a custard cream, Bob? Go on, Bob. I'll have a custard cream, Bob.
I actually do fancy one now, and now I am sad that I don't have one. So you have just teased me with a biscuit. That's what's happened there.
I'm going to tease you with a lot today.
I was thinking on the lines of the good Duke, because he's been in the news this week. I was thinking that there was a debate as to whether he'll get his royal patronages back, and I thought, well, if he can make a return to public life, then maybe there's a return for other people. And I noticed there's a vacancy at the Met Police for a new commissioner, so maybe like if they think about somebody with managerial experience in a big organization, I was thinking maybe they could appoint Ryan Giggs as the new Met commissioner, because he aligns quite well to their values anyway, doesn't he?
I don't want to say much on that topic because
with maybe Ched Evans as the deputy, eh?
There's a lot of tedious links in today's show. I have a lot of notes which actually are made while sitting on the bog. That's
where most of my notes are made. I have a problem with your dad. You have a problem with my dad, because my dad has been texting you in the week. Your dad has started texting me as well now.
Absolutely.
Both of them for very suspiciously similar reasons, which is...
Yeah, and they've suspiciously been sometimes mistaken for each other as well in the past.
They have been, yes. And it's all because they, well into their 70s and possibly 80s, they won't stop trying to recruit us to do charity work for the community.
Yeah, so good luck to them on that.
Yeah, the problem with that is that I hate our community and don't want to
I was gonna say something like "fuck the community," but yeah, hate is better, I guess.
Yeah, I think hate is probably better to demonstrate how we actually feel.
But anyway, going on.
Yeah, I mean, if they were to ask us to do something that didn't help the community, I'd be really interested in that. But instead they've gone the other way. So yeah, good luck to them.
It's the only way they know, to be fair. But anyway, let's go slightly backwards to how we started the show. Shall we all congratulate Rishi Sunak on 2 years at Her Majesty's Treasury? Shall we do that?
Yeah.
Why I know about this? Because LinkedIn seems to think I'm really pally with Rishi Sunak.
Sorry, what? I don't even know how you got this link, but go on, let's run with it. Go on.
So LinkedIn seems to think that I'm pally with Rishi Sunak, so I should congratulate him for 2 years at HM Treasury or whatever he's doing. I don't know.
I see. Did it like flag up saying congratulate Rishi on being in the job for 2 years, and you can click like?
Yeah, it came into my notifications. Hey, Aaqib, why don't you congratulate Rishi? I mean, I guess he's been doing a great job, but we'll find out in the coming months when I can't feed my family and keep my house warm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a bit concerned about the words great and job being used, together. Apart from that, I'm just absolutely fine. So did you end up clicking and congratulating him or not?
No, I thought I'd put it out to the audience and see, should I do it? What do you think?
No,
because I don't congratulate anybody on LinkedIn.
It's interesting you say the audience, because my worst fears have been realized in that people have actually been watching the show and have started interacting with it, which is an unusual feeling, because on the one hand, it's very welcome and it's nice and everything. On the other hand, I don't think I can abide anybody watching this show. I'd prefer if nobody watched it.
Well, some of the feedback I got was, without them even watching the show, was, how can you share something like this? What are people going to say? I don't think. Can you just finish that sentence? My answer off for them.
Yeah, I refer them to your previous comments on the community. That's what I refer them to. But yeah, anyway, look. So we've had a watcher interaction. There's a very nice watcher called who is one half of the famous duet Ibri and H. In this case, Ibri,
whom we model ourselves on.
Well, yeah. Well, I actually I think I'm starting to look like him, like exactly the same. So I'm quite proud of that. Anyway, look, it says here, you had this exercise for me last week about making a choice between one thing or another.
Oh, don't worry, I've got loads of those today.
Really good ones as well. So he said, perhaps a topic for your show, choose, is patience about how long you wait or how well you behave while you are waiting?
Wow.
Now that's very deep. Shall I tell you what else is deep?
Let me just put my thinking face on and you carry on talking.
Okay, you put your thinking face on. Okay. While you're thinking, I'm going to just say something equally intelligent that I listened to on Radio 4's Thought for the Day a couple of days ago, where somebody was describing what a human being is. And do you know what they used to describe it? They used the following words. They said the human being is a quintessence of dust.
That's beautiful use of language there.
Possibly. I mean, we don't actually understand it, so it might not be beautiful. It's like, isn't it a bit like Jacob Rees-Mogg, where people assume he's saying intelligent things because he sounds like he probably is, but then upon analysis, when it's all written down, it's bollocks.
That's what tend to happen with politicians. It's a lot of bollocks once you go back and read the.
It tends to happen because effectively, if you look at our constitution, we live in a feudal system, so people are still. Beholden to their lords, aren't they? That's how things go. Anyway, have you thought of it? What is your answer? Is it about how long you can wait or how well you behave while you're waiting?
Well, seeing as this was a request by somebody I know very well and was partly responsible for this, I'm going to say...
Sorry, what? He does hair and makeup? I don't understand.
No, me.
Okay, right.
Partly.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to say one who behaves well whilst being patient.
That is the patient one. See, I think it's a trick question. I think it's a bit of both, really. I think patience is about duration.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you wait the entire duration and behave like an arse, then, it kind of takes the edge off the patience as well. So you probably need both is what I would have answered for that. But then again, he didn't want you can't have if you have to choose, and you can't give a both answer. So you've chosen what? The behavior.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good behavior.
Good behavior. Yeah. Now that's the problem with you, Babar, is you say a lot of things that only I'm going to find amusing. And I think that's my problem as well. I think I do this to you. Well, I say things in this show that only you understand and you would appreciate. So effectively, this is my problem here, that we are making a show for ourselves, not for anyone else. If anything, other people watching it is a bit...
What's the whole point of having hobbies if you can't amuse yourself?
Exactly, but other people watching is sometimes I find it's a bit of an inconvenience. I mean, we should maybe try and put people off watching.
Listen, let me tell you, I make music for you to listen to and tell me it's fucking great. Get it out there, you stupid bastard. But do I get it out there? No, I don't.
You don't.
Because I just want you to listen to it, and I send these files over Telegram.
And I've got a file. So. And just answer me this question. When I forced you, after many, many years, possibly about a decade, to put your music onto the streaming services such as iTunes, who bought your album offline?
Only two people, well, maybe 3 people bought my album, literally, because nobody buys albums anymore. So they're quite old. People like to stream.
Yeah.
You bought it.
Yeah.
And even though you don't get a physical copy these days, although I would have liked to have signed it for you and given it to you, so with love and a nice, lovely markup, Sharpie signature on it, and then you could frame it and possibly put it on eBay years later when I die. But no, you just
get... to be honest, I think I know the protocol when you die. You've told me where to find the hard drives, how many nails to put through the big one. And I've got you covered, man. It's fine. Although cool. I do suspect that I'm going to die before you, even though I'm a bit younger than you.
But it's all right. I've got your hard drives anyway, so that's fine.
Well, you see, everything of mine is in the cloud now. So as long as nobody cracks the encryption, it should be okay.
Cool.
Anyway, look, do you want me to tell you a Barry Cryer joke, or do you want me to tell you about 2 amazing opportunities?
I've already heard the Barry Cryer joke.
No. It's a different one. Although I have shared it with you online, but I haven't told it to you because that one is too long.
Okay, then go on then. Ladies and gentlemen, A Barry Cry joke.
Okay, so the late great Barry Cry, who we're very sad about because he died a couple of weeks ago. He did a show with Richard Herring, who's another great comedian, and he told this joke. So he said, "There's a guy sitting on a train, and opposite him, it's a tube. Opposite him is an old lady reading from a Bible, and every time the tube pulls into a station, she puts the Bible away into her bag, and every time the train starts up again, she gets it out and starts reading from it. And this happens a few times. So, and consistently, when the train pulls into the station, she puts it away. When the train starts again, she starts reading from her Bible. And it seems like a very nice old lady. So the guy's quite fascinated by this and just sort of notices it and then starts to see this very consistently happening. And he's getting closer to his station. So he can't bear it. So the train pulls into his station and he gets up and he's about to leave and he says, "Excuse me," to the old lady. She says, "Yes." He says, "Look, I've noticed that when the train is moving, you're reading very nicely from this Bible." She says, "Yes, dear." "And then when the train is stopped, like now in the station, you put the Bible away." She says, "Yes, dear." He says, "Can you tell me, if you don't mind, why are you doing this?" And she says to him, "Why don't you just fuck off?"
Yep. Absolutely. Why doesn't he?
Because, that's the great Barry Cry. Now, not everybody will enjoy that joke. So if you didn't enjoy it, then I would advise
Why don't you just fuck off?
I would advise you to take the same advice, yes.
Cool.
Yeah, Babar, have you got some choices for me then? Have you
Okay, then. So I've got a couple of things on here, which I just want to ask you, any idea what the settlement fee was?
So they're talking 10 to 12 million. They are saying, are we talking about the same, the non-Sari settlement
Well, I don't
fee?
know, you see, so this is, I'm listening.
They're talking about 10 to 12 million, I think. Now, I know he sold a chalet in Switzerland. And then apparently there's rumors the Queen is backing him up as well. We're talking about Andrew, by the way. We don't have to say His Royal Highness.
Excellent.
Now.
So let's go into the little game that I have. So
okay,
I will leave that. Shall I say that one first? Let's have a look. Now let's leave it to simmer a little bit and marinade in the background. When I'll start off with, would you rather be Snoop Doggy Dogg's chronic dealer? Or
I think it's already a yes from me on that one. Go on.
Or Prince Andrew's mom.
Well, Prince Andrew's mom is probably technically dead right now. So I think on the basis of being alive, I would choose to be the dealer. Also, on the basis of being richer, man, like how rich is Snoop's dealer gonna be? Like
Snoop's dealer is just awesome.
He's gonna be richer than the Queen. I mean, Snoop Dogg's net worth has stayed around $50 million for the past 20 years.
Because he knows how to balance a checkbook.
And all his peers have sort of gone up and down, etc. But he just consistently has a sustainable lifestyle in which he buys weed, smokes weed, and goes to sleep. That's
he does a lot of other things. He has a series on DVD that you can also purchase, which he makes a lot of royalties out of.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I have heard about some of Snoop Dogg's other activities, especially in the mid 2000s, and I think that I would have to be very careful about what I looked for.
But he was very, very good at the Super Bowl halftime show. Although I was a little bit disappointed, even though I stayed up and became ill the next day. Probably
you know what it wasn't staying up that made you ill. It was the sheer disappointment that made you ill, because the text messages I saw in the morning, because even I wasn't up that late, so I couldn't see your messages till the next day. The text messages I saw were just broke. You were really disappointed, weren't you? I mean, I'm really impressed that they resurrected Dre, because I thought he was pretty much brain dead. So that was impressive.
But generally, it was good. I wouldn't say it was the greatest halftime Super Bowl show I've seen, because I like performances. I like live gigs. I love all that. But it was good. 50 Cent was almost like 20 cents.
I can't be asked with all that. I think that there's a limit to how much should be detracted from a sporting event. If it was say a guy doing keepy uppy in the center circle, that's fine. If it's like a very old and almost dead former rock star with like a dubious court history, that's also fine. But you know, to have like a proper show and you're changing the floor and you've got backing dancers and stuff, I think that's too much, man. I like. I mean, it's fine. Leave the Americans to do that. That's okay. But I don't want it to be brought here at all.
It's not like the Super Bowl. I mean, American football is great and everything, but too many stoppages for me. Anyway, moving on to the next one. Would you rather be Biden's weekly medicine box or be responsible for the NHS track and trace system?
Ooh, so on the basis of being able to embezzle funds, where could I embezzle more funds from? Did you say Biden's medicine box or medicine prescriber? What did you say? The actual box.
The actual box that has Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday written on it.
What kind of choices? What is that? How big a shit were you having when you were on the bog thinking of these ideas? Like, what was it like? Was it the point where like it was really squeezing out? Is that what the issue is here?
I was turtling. I was probably turtling at that point.
Because seriously, there's been no thought put into this. There's only one answer I can give you.
Go on then.
Like, so the last one, you were like, do you want to be an alive person or a dead person? So I chose. So that wasn't good either. Yeah. This one, do you want to be a box or what was the other? Sorry, or a human being?
We're responsible for this amazing track and trace system.
Yeah. So do you want to be an inanimate box or a human being with the possibility of embezzling billions of funds? I will choose to be the human being. Thank you.
To be honest with you, yeah.
Okay.
This is great content. Okay.
It is great. It's brilliant, but it can't be explained. That's the only thing.
No, I just thought of the idea of, possibly being responsible for death of someone.
Sorry, what? Hang on a minute. This has gone to a dark place now. You got explain.
Anyway,
explain.
Moving on.
Let's move on.
It was really good. That was a really good segment. Actually, I enjoyed that.
Yeah. Have you got any more of these?
Yeah, I've got two. I've got three more actually. Would you rather be hacked by Team Lazarus and held to ransom for your data that everyone has anyway because everyone knows everything about you?
Yeah.
Or wait for it. Blackmail one of your relatives because you've come across inappropriate content on a Telegram group with about 80,000 members on.
So let's just write this down. So either I want to be blackmailed by Team Lazarus. Is that the one?
Yeah, and held to ransom for data.
Held to ransom for data by Team Lazarus, or blackmail my own relative.
Yeah, because you come across inappropriate content that was available through a group which had 80,000 members on Telegram.
So obviously, it seems like both of these things have happened to you directly. That's the first thing I want to say. Yeah,
I've been hacked. I have been hacked in the past.
Okay, so I can't be hacked in the sense that I don't keep any. Well, not in the formal sense. I don't keep any data on my own hard drives anymore.
Yeah.
Now I can be physically, but and also if I get rid of a computer, I always remove the hard drive entirely and keep it. So I have about 25 hard drives in that cupboard over there. So if anybody wants to burgle them, then they might have an interesting time. So I can't really be remotely hacked. Hang on, sorry, I just lost your connection there.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm here.
Right, okay. At the same time, I don't have the kind of relatives. I don't have the kind of relatives that you have. I don't want to say more than that because I know this goes out on the internet. So let's just say I'll accept the hack from Team Lazarus. Okay.
Awesome. That's the correct answer. Well done.
I actually like my family.
Yeah, I do as well. I love my family.
No. Okay. You love a great number of them. I know.
Yeah, okay. Would you rather be a storm named after?
Sorry, is this another shitting one that you couldn't get out properly? Yeah. You haven't written this down properly, have you?
Actually, forget that.
Yes,
but the next one is also in
the similar vein, is it? Okay, go on. Okay, before you do that one, hang on. Before you do that one, I would just on the hacking thing. I just remembered something that I wanted to share with you because this all started. There's a few things that have happened that I wanted to discuss. So this all started with Google reporting their own email to me as spam the other day in my inbox. I can see you're still trying to read your own notes there. Yeah. Quick tip, don't move your lips when you try to read silently because, like, in my daughter's school, that's some of the more special kids have to do that, and it's just one of those
I'm
things.
very special.
You are very special indeed, and so are those kids, and they have many other strengths that will be nurtured.
Please don't hurt me.
Yes, is that Simple Jack? Yeah.
Yes, Simple Jack.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that's bad. It's bad that we both knew that. Okay, so so Google spammed their own email into junk, and I have been emailing people as well for work purposes over these past couple of weeks, and even though I've emailed them before with no problem, my emails have been sometimes posted into their spam. So now what's started to happen is that I've started to have to call people up to tell them that I've emailed them and tell them what the content of the email was and ask them to look for it in their spam folders, which kind of negates the whole purpose of emailing. And
beautiful workflow you got there.
And then while this is all happening, I received the following email, which says, "My name is Mr. Paolo Galimberti. I'm the executive director at UBS Investment Bank in London Branch, UK." London Branch, yeah.
London Branch.
London Branch.
London Road.
It's in London Branch, UK. I have a legitimate business proposal worth the sum of 90,400,000 Great British pounds to discuss with you. I need your sincerity and trust in this business deal. If you're interested, and he's given his. I'm sorry.
I need to stop you there. Why haven't you replied?
Well,
given him your bank details to transfer that money.
Well, he didn't want bank details, so he's clearly a legit person, because it says, "If you're interested, for more details, kindly contact me via email with your full name, home address, and telephone number." And his email address is mr.paolo.galimberti.ubs.executive.
Yes, because all executives.
At mail.com. Yeah.
At mail.com have that beautiful email address.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I think, use the Proton mail for this one.
Pull out the Proton.
And probably get back to him, and I'll report back on as to what he says. Because,
will our friend good old Oswald be involved in this?
Oswald might be involved, yeah. Now, obviously, I have been pranking quite a few people using the Oswald account. So you saying that could potentially have just jeopardized a few ongoing things that I've been up to, but that's fine. I'll have to just change my identity again for that one.
Oh yes, I forgot what I've just done. I've just realized what I've just done.
Yeah, you just exposed my alternative identity there, which is fine. Do you want to hear something about shitting before you ask me the final question?
All the time.
So I heard a couple of
one of the greatest pleasures,
disturbing animal fact, and it was in a mainstream daytime Radio 4 quiz program. So it is not necessarily rude. In fact, you could say it's suitable for children because it was at the very mainstream time. There's such a thing as a pig toilet, and in India and China in the olden days, and all across the world, it has been used, whereby the household or the farming community would use the toilet through a hole that would lead directly to the area where the pigs would be fed, and so the human waste would be then spread among the feed for these pigs for them to enjoy. And that's what I learned from that show. I also learned that some farmers put strong magnets in the stomach of calves when they're born. Baby cows, not the ends of your legs, for anybody wondering. And so that when they're eating stuff generally, and bits of nails or staples or whatever, and I think there is a certain amount of iron or metals that they could pick up from their general feed or whatever. It will all stick in one place and won't cause any rupturing of their internal organs. And then when the calf is slaughtered for meat, the abattoir owner can take that and cash it in for scrap metal. Which led me to the question: what would you keep in your stomach?
What would I keep in my stomach? Does it have to be my stomach?
Yes.
As in the vessel has to be my
But like,
stomach.
for example, you could think of it in many ways. I mean, you could think of it as when you are slaughtered, for example. What would you like people to find as a nice present that they could cash in?
How about this? That pops up.
That's fantastic. That's a good
That'd
answer.
Be amazing.
That would be
Can you imagine?
Especially if it was spring loaded, so it's very shockingly appear.
Yeah, so it cuts open the stomach lining, everything, and it goes.
Yeah.
Doing.
And I mean, it's likely, given your history, it's likely that you would be killed by somebody who had ill intent and had kind of shafted you over as well. So it would be a final say that they had no response to, because obviously
more than likely it would be their finger that went straight up my ass and it's ended up in my stomach, so it would have stayed there.
Yeah, that's happened more than once. I remember those times.
Yeah, so there you go. You see.
Okay,
that's what I say.
Okay, right. So shall we finish off with you asking me the final question that you have?
Yeah, would you rather be Storm Black Country, Dudley, or Chinese snooker sensation Yang Bintao? Yang Bintao.
There are some names that are they almost seem designed for certain accents, isn't it? And Yang Bintao. So
I'm so glad you got the link there.
Yeah,
Very happy.
So there is a strong Black Country connection. For our international viewers, of which there are probably none, the Black Country is not a racist term. It's actually a real place in the West Midlands of the UK. So, don't click the report button. You can for other taste matters, but not for that. Well, I think it's not really a difficult question, because Yan Bingtao seems like a really nice lad.
But wouldn't you like to be a storm that fucks up everything?
No, I think I'd be very tired. If I was a storm, I'd just like to go to sleep.
Can you imagine you being a storm with your lungs?
Well, I think that would cause more damage, because people wouldn't know how to prepare, and it would be a very intermittent wind.
You're like that joke that Jeremy Clarkson always mentions about the air conditioning in a Lamborghini Countach is like an asthmatic blowing through a straw.
Yeah,
that's what kind of storm you'd be.
I read an old review of his of a Proton car, which is a car that used to be manufactured in Malaysia, and he said, here's how the steering of the Proton works. He said, when you turn the wheel, it's connected to two whisks, which are in buckets of yogurt. When the yogurt is spinning fast enough, it transfers the energy to the wheels and they turn. That's what he said. So he does come up with some interesting analogies sometimes. Barbara, one thing I wanted to share with you, I made a note of this actually. Somebody was talking about, I can't remember what they were talking about, but there was a comment underneath. It was about Gary Neville, actually. I think Gary Neville had done some kind of political activism work or something, and he was hosting a dinner for the Labour Party. I don't know what he was doing.
For fuck's sake, somebody's telling him to stop.
It was something like that, and obviously nobody likes it when football players try to get involved in things above their sort of level, as you know. And the comment was, somebody was admiring him and said, you know what, we need a statue of Gary Neville, because they were happy with his activism and his statement. Oh yeah, I'll tell you what it was. There was a picture of him with a worker from Hotel Football, and the worker was saying what a great boss he was and how lovely he was as an employer. Anyway, and so somebody said, well, make a statue of him. And the comment underneath was, my dog makes a statue of Neville twice a day.
Yeah, I was going to say, what a pile of shit.
Which I thought was a nice phrase that people can now go ahead and use in their daily lives. Barbara, what are you up to later on this week? Because we are recording on a Thursday today.
Oh, yeah. So I'm not really doing much. Probably do a little bit of freelance on the weekend, and because the work never stops, and probably just do absolutely fuck all, really. TGI Friday. Thank God it's Friday.
Well, that was boring.
But they were all of them deceived, for another video was made. In the land of Mordor, in the fires of Mount Doom, the Dark Lord Babar forged in secret a master video to control all others. And into this video, he poured his cruelty, his malice, and his will to dominate all life. One video to to rule them all.
So what did I do after the show? This is what I do. Are you ready?